God healed me of a phobia when I didn't believe that he could, or that he was going to. I honestly wasn't even asking him to in the moment. It's been exactly 1 year since my life changed, and I keep putting off talking about it. I feel inadequate. I feel like I don't have all the answers for everyone. When people like want a formula for their life to change too, feel all sorts of things when it comes to telling this story. But I want to share. Like, I truly do. My heart wants to share. It just feels like I'm not going to have the right words. Start a little bit back before I can share what happened a year ago. But I was raised going to church every single Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night. I was raised in a loving, safe, wonderful home. I was baptized when I was, I think, 14 or 15. I was baptized back then out of fear, 100% fear. Fear of going to hell. Felt like a scary thing and like something I just had to do so that I didn't go to hell. And as soon as I got out of the water, it was like this feeling of like, okay, how long can I go now without sinning? Obviously that didn't last long. I probably sinned within the next few hours because I am a human. And so from that point forward, it was like I was just getting dirtier and dirtier. I had zero confidence in my salvation. I hoped that I would go to heaven, but did not know that I would, rather than like my sins being washed away and me living this new life. Explains a little bit of like where I was spiritually. Like, I was always trying to make good choices and stay on this like good path. Like, from the outside looking in, everything was great, but I didn't have a relationship with God. Like, I was seeking, in a way, I was trying to do the right thing, but I truly feel like I was never taught that a personal relationship with God is possible, or that God like works in our lives and is powerful and wonderful and good. And so I just didn't have the right idea about him, honestly. It was my like belief in baptism a little bit off and skewed. I also feel like I didn't understand or hear the true gospel until a year ago, because along those same lines of like feeling like I was getting dirtier as my life went on, I also felt like I had to do something, work harder to get to heaven. And yet I was getting dirtier. So it was like, it was impossible. It felt impossible. How was I ever going to know that I was going to heaven when I felt deep inside of myself that I was getting dirtier as I went on, because I could not overcome sin? Fast forward to when I had my first son. I dealt with really bad postpartum anxiety after having him, and I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what I was struggling with, and I was like the first of my friends to get married, to have kids. I just felt like very alone. Obviously, I had a wonderful mom and sister, but I didn't even know how to ask for help. Like, I didn't know what was going on. So anyway, I feel like that's when my severe anxiety started. But looking back over my life, I think I've had anxiety throughout my life, and it would just manifest in different places. Finally got on some anxiety medication, which was terrifying, because when you have anxiety, you're anxious about taking medication. But I did it, and it maybe took the edge off. It is now 9, and so for those years, from the time I started the medication to a year ago, I still had debilitating anxiety. Like, the meds helped me not go into a full-blown panic attack where I was going to have to like go to the ER, but I was not functioning. I was living in my anxious brain, and then my body was just like trying to function. Like, let me give an example. One time, I'm so anxious in my brain that I like can't think about what my body's doing because it's spiraling about what I'm worried about. So like not this last Christmas, but the one before, I went to make some macaroni and cheese in the microwave for my daughter, and my brain's over here, but my body's doing this, and I didn't put the water in the container, and like that thing caught on fire. It's fine. Our house filled up with yellow smoke, but it was just, I knew what was causing that. I wasn't able to live because my brain and my fear was controlling my life. I would say spiritually at this point, I had convinced myself that this is how God made me. He knew that I was anxious and fearful, but I did not see it as a sin. I don't know how to explain this. It was a sin in my life because I was putting it before God. But at the same time, I wasn't able to overcome it and get out of it. So it was just like, I thought this was just what my life was. And at that time in my entire life, I didn't read the Bible. Like, was always at church, would read occasionally, but I was never like on fire for the Lord at all. If I was reading, it's because I felt like I had to, or because it was gonna like make me closer to heaven, like earning it in a way. It was not because I desired to know him more. To mention what specifically I was struggling with. So the phobia that I dealt with was a metaphobia, which is the fear of throwing up. And that's really difficult when you have kids, but it makes it difficult. Like, I didn't like to leave the house. I didn't like to have people in my house. I would still live my life. I still sent my kids to school, but I struggled every day with everything. It also transferred into the kitchen. Like, I didn't want to touch raw meat. I was scared of my kids helping me crack an egg. Like, so many things. It just like literally would just touch every part of my life. It's absolutely debilitating. That was how I was living. I just had decided this was who I was. It was like I was claiming that as a part of my life. I didn't know any other way because I had tried everything to get over it. And in my deepest moments, I would be like, God help me. But didn't know that he could, because I had been taught to pray, not because I truly believed that he was going to do anything. That's just like the truth. That's the honest truth. I've been on Instagram now for almost 10 years, and I got to know a friend at LTK Con years ago, and we connected, and we were just friends because we connected on being awkward at these events. And little did I know that like God placed her in my life for such a huge purpose. And I'm so very thankful. But we just became good friends. We lived in different states, but we would talk over the years, and we would like plan girls trips, and we would see each other at influencer events. But my friend Amy at the Coastal Oak had gone to a retreat that her church invited her to a year before I got to go, and her whole entire life changed. And so from afar, a long distance friendship, I witnessed her life changing. And so I just saw little snippets. I didn't understand any of it at all. But I knew that something was changing in her. She had the opportunity to host a retreat, and she felt on her heart to invite Christian influencers. And so I was at the top of her list because we were friends and I was a Christian, and she knew that I needed help. She knew that my life would change there, but I'm like, girl. So I literally went to this retreat kicking and screaming. Up until the second I was getting on a plane, I was like telling my husband I did not want to go. Part of that is because of my upbringing. I was raised in a environment where there was a lot of like, we're doing everything right and everyone else is doing everything wrong. And we had a very strict set of rules. We did not use instruments in worship. All that to say, I was going to this retreat with all these beliefs in my head, and I was like, I can't go here. I'm not going to agree with anything they say.